was watching an interview with Eddie Murphy recently, and something he shared caught my attention in a deep way. He talked about his childhood, how he loved watching television for hours, and how at just 13 years old, he already knew he was going to be famous. But the part that struck me most was the story behind that moment. A story involving a young girl named Sherry, a girl with unusual spiritual abilities and a journey that reveals far more than just talent or destiny. What he shared opened a door to a deeper conversation about gifts, spirits, purpose, and what truly matters when life is over. Tonight, I want to reflect on that story and the spiritual truths behind it. Eddie Murphy grew up watching hours of television, absorbing characters, humor, and performance. Even as a young boy, he carried a sense that he was set apart for something greater. At 13, that sense of destiny was spoken aloud by his girlfriend Sherry, who possessed unusual clairvoyant abilities. She can place her hands on objects, newspapers, money, photo albums, and see information hidden from the natural eye. But biblically, these abilities do not trace back to God. They are aligned with familiar spirits, divination, and seducing spirits. According to Deuteronomy chapter 18, verse 10 through 12, it says, for example, never sacrifice your son or daughter as a burnt offering, and do not let your people practice fortune telling, or use sorcery, or interpret omens, or engage in witchcraft, or cast spells, or function as mediums or psychics, or call forth the spirits of the dead. Anyone who does these things is detestable to the Lord. It is because the other nations have done these detestable things that the Lord your God will drive them out ahead of you. Leviticus chapter 19, verse 31 says, do not defile yourselves by turning to mediums or to those who consult the spirits of the dead. I am the Lord, your God. Now, when it comes to clairvoyant abilities, I want to reveal to you from a biblical perspective on how it's formed. For starters, a person does not become clairvoyant by coincidence or talent. These abilities are spiritual in origin, entering through open doors such as generational influence, occult exposure, or spiritual vulnerability. The four primary spirits tied to clairvoyance are familiar spirits, seducing spirits, the spirit of bondage, and territorial spirits, each playing a role in how these abilities are received, maintained, and ultimately used to keep a person spiritually bound. Number one, familiar spirits. What are familiar spirits? Spirits that are familiar with you, that knows your bloodline, that studies you. They take notes about you. They learn the things that you are interested in, the things that grabs your interest. These spirits that supply accurate information to mimic the prophetic and create trust. And so when that spirit gathers enough information about you, it goes and it relays the information to the seducing spirits. What are seducing spirits? Spirits that lure people into supernatural experiences that feel empowering but are spiritually deceptive. What the spirit does, it creates scenarios. It puts people on your path. It sets things in motion for you to introduce to you whatever it is that your interest is. Whatever it is that you are interested in, it provides that environment. It creates that environment. It sets up that scenario. And then once you give in to whatever it is that interests you, the spirit of bondage is now intact. What is the spirit of bondage? That spirit now locks you in to where you are now addicted to what you do. You're bound to it. Or in other words, it's demonic abilities. When it comes to demonic abilities, it always brings a heavy spiritual, emotional, or physical cost, according to Romans chapter 8, verse 15. And once that spirit is locked into you, or it has you bound, then you have the ruling spirit that claims you as its territory, known as the territorial spirits. You are now part of its territory. It now claims you a part of its territory. What are territorial spirits? Spirits assigned to families, regions, or bloodlines that pass gifts or bondage generationally. So in the interview, Eddie began to reveal that his girlfriend Sherry, she struggled for a long time. She had a long-term illness known as the neurological illness. She suffered from that. Now, a neurological illness is any sickness or condition that affects your brain, spinal cord, or nerves. These are the parts of your body that control movement, thinking, feelings, memory, breathing, and how your body works. So if something is wrong with the nerves or the brain, it can cause problems like trouble moving or walking, shaking or weakness, memory or thinking problems, headaches or seizures, numbness or tingling, trouble speaking or understanding. So in short, a neurological illness is a problem with the body's control system, the brain and the nerves that runs everything. Okay. So when it comes to demonic activities that's in the body, demonic insight drains the body and attaches oppression, creating cycles of sickness, weakness, and spiritual exhaustion. Read Luke 13, verse 11. So when Sherry passed away during the film of The Nutty Professor, the entire set unexpectedly went dark. Eddie walked toward his trailer, confused, only to be told that Sherry Bell had died. This moment symbolized a spiritual shift. Not that she caused the blackout, but spiritually, a chapter had ended. Her influence, her presence, and the spiritual ties connected to her life. You see, death breaks the earthly tie, but the spiritual residue of someone involved in deep supernatural practices can linger unless God steps in with deliverance and cleansing. Sometimes the atmosphere itself shifts when someone heavily tied to spiritual activity leaves the world. Their departure removes a spiritual weight, but it also exposes the need for healing, freedom, and spiritual resetting for those who are connected to them. So, for Eddie Murphy, this moment became both emotional and spiritually symbolic, a closing of a chapter tied to a girl who saw into the supernatural, but through the wrong spiritual source. Now, hear me when I say this. When it comes to comedians, okay, they're like prophets of the culture, okay? Hear me when I say this. Comedians often function like prophets in culture, okay? They expose truth through humor, reveal societal issues, and speak boldly in ways others cannot. The words shape perspectives and challenge norms, similar to how prophetic voices expose hidden realities. But culture prophecy is not kingdom prophecy, okay? You can speak truth, carry influence, make millions laugh, and still not be aligned with God spiritually. Now here's the internal perspective, because we all will have to stand before God. Now, Eddie Murphy, extraordinary career, talent, fame, holds no eternal weight when standing before God. Hear me when I say this. Success does not equal salvation. Influence does not equal righteousness. Laughter does not equal redemption. When Eddie Murphy stands before God, his acting and comedy carries no heavenly reward unless his life is surrendered to Christ. Without salvation, even a legendary career does not grant entry into the kingdom of God. According to Ecclesiastes chapter 6, verse 10 reminds us, whatever exists has already been named, and what humanity is has been known. What does that mean? It means this. God wrote our destiny long before any psychic, clairvoyant, or human voice ever spoke over us. Sherry echoed what God already ordained, but through an unclean spiritual channel. So when I was listening to Eddie's interview, Eddie's story teaches me this. Number one, clairvoyance is spiritual, but not holy. Number two, demonic gifts drain the body and bind the soul. Number three, comedians may mirror prophets, but without Christ, they have no eternal inheritance. Number four, death ends physical ties, but spiritual residue requires God's intervention. And number five, only salvation through Jesus Christ secures entrance into the kingdom of God.